What many had anticipated as the game of the year in the Big Ten is shaping up that way. A couple undefeated teams at Autzen Stadium as Ohio State visits Oregon. We got Steve Merrill on the line from Wager Talk. WagerTalk.com is the place to check out Steve's complete array of college football, NFL picks, and the Major League Baseball playoffs as well. All right, Steve, this is a huge one, and Ohio State, a 3-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, so I'd like to do always, mid-season here, Mark, is look at what those advanced numbers were way back in June. The Circa in Las Vegas was one of the first, and they had Ohio State -1, so nothing crazy here. Even a week ago, a bettable look-ahead line last week at DraftKings was -2. And then most books opened -4 this weekend, and we have seen it come back down now to that key number of -3 across the board. So it's been kind of floating around some really key numbers, and which appears to be a very competitive matchup. Total opened. Look ahead was about 51, and it opened 51. It's been bet up to 53.5. So I guess if you had to say where the sharp money came in on this game early, it was on the over. I think that makes sense. We saw that Alabama-Georgia game end up being a shootout. Both teams put up 1,000 yards combined. And although statistically, these defenses look pretty good, this is a huge step up in class, obviously, for both offenses. As far as my 10,000 game simulation, a lot of games this week, now that we're 5, 6, 7 games into the season, a lot of the numbers are pretty tight. I don't find as much value with a lot of these games, and my simulation actually has Ohio State by exactly 3 points in this game, so I think it's pretty much spot on where it has settled. So we will dig into this total a little bit more. And as I mentioned, everyone talks about defense wins championships and defense dominates big games. In recent years, that hasn't been the case. We've seen some high-scoring national championship games. We saw that Alabama-Georgia game last couple weeks ago, extremely high-scoring. And this Ohio State offense is for real. 46 points a game, 7.5 yards per play, 9 yards per pass. And then you look at Oregon here, pretty equal, 35 points a game, 6.5 yards per play. So, yes, Ohio State rates a little bit better offensively. And by the way, both of their opponents have given up about 5.5 yards per play. So they're still well above average. Defensively, yes, Ohio State allows 3.8, Oregon 4.7. But once again, those opponents played about 5.5 yards per play. As I just mentioned, 6.5 and 7.5. So I think this is a huge step up in class for both defenses. And I would think the early move to the over made some sense here. 51 was a very key number. That is lost. But now it's 53.5. Some 54s are starting to show. Would not disagree with the over in this game.
Again, everyone, wagertalk.com is the place to be to check out Steve's selections and also his money management system. The under the radar selection. Check out the ticker down below. You get Steve's under the radar selection. You get my picks. You get picks from other folks right here at the Voice of College Football as a Patreon member /MarkRogersTV or as a premium YouTube channel member on the main channel. Steve, appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Mark.
College football is even more exciting with some action on the line. And the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Let's start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread. I've got a 40-year track record. In fact, in 2023, at $100 played per game, you would have netted over $9,300. And guess what? I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill, our ace in the hole, show stopper from Wager Talk. 6 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick, which went 21-5 against the spread the last 2 seasons. I repeat, 21-5 against the spread. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Steve Dace and Matt Zemek. Become a YouTube channel member or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2024 a winner now.